Hello and welcome to the 200th episode of the Game Out Loud podcast, your one and only podcast for all things gaming. I'm, of course, your host this week, Jordan Rusnak. I've been here for, I'd say, almost 200 episodes, and joining me this week is Rob, who has also been here for darn near 200 episodes. Yeah, there we go. Rob gets fanfare.
Hooray!
And then, listeners, I don't know, have we had you on since we've moved over to the realm of video?
You have. The last one was, well, it's a story for another time, but the last time you had me on was for a little game called No Man's Sky.
Oh, yes, that's right. That wasn't too long ago, actually.
Yeah, it wasn't. It's sad how not long ago that was.
It feels like eons.
That instant legend, or maybe instant urban legend.
Yeah,
would be more accurate.
Well, it's gaming history, that's for sure.
Most definitely. That was definitely a foray into something there. I'm not quite sure.
By the way,
what.
Now that I'm back, do you guys have? I assume somewhere around here, you guys have a hot plate of crow ready for me to sit down and dish up and eat in front of you guys on camera for all the things I said about that game?
I've got a sugar glider, but you can't eat him.
Oh, all right.
That's pretty fucking cool, though. Got a sugar glider.
Yeah, that is pretty awesome. I got whiskey. I'll do.
Whiskey? Yeah, I don't got whiskey.
I'd rather have whiskey. Whiskey maintains you. You have to maintain a sugar glider.
Yeah, but he's adorable, dude. Like, my little sugar glider here. Come here, buddy. Let's see here.
I wish I remembered the butter
tell
glider
me that's not
song.
Adorable. Yeah.
Oh.
Hi, Nim.
Yeah,
Nim. Who's a good little guy? Okay, let's get you back in your little pouch there. There you go.
The front page, r/aw.
r/aw. Yes. Submit that there. But man, I think we're here to talk about video games, right, gentlemen? Not sugar gliders or whiskey?
Different
bourbon?
video games?
I'm down for all three, but whatever.
Yeah,
you're the host.
What if there was a sugar glider whiskey video game?
Oh, dude. I mean, it reminds me of a little bit of Conker's Bad Fur Day, but
yeah, the off-brand Conkers.
Yeah.
That would be hilarious.
Sugar's decent tail
Night
day.
out.
I don't know. Yeah, night out. There you go. That's what it is.
Conker's Great Hair Day. Knocker's Great Hair Day. Wait, no, we probably couldn't call it that. Oh, they probably would call it that.
I mean, from a history of Conker, you probably could call it that. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. It's just about the sunflower.
Right.
Yep. Well, let's quickly get away from this non-PC conversation and get into video games like what Jack's been playing. Hey, buddy, what's been taking up your time this week?
Oh, I've actually been kind of busy for the last week, so a little light on the gaming. But I have been playing Dragon Quest VII on 3DS. Anybody else? I don't know if you guys have talked about that on the show.
I think you're a resident 3DS player, really. I own one,
right?
And I think Rob owns one. We just don't play them.
Nope, I have a DS.
Yeah, and you have a Vita as well, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Well, obviously we've played tons of Vita together. Yeah, it's all right. You know, it's a remake of a PS1 game. I really when I first saw it, I thought it was just like a reskin, maybe like, you know, kind of graphically cleaned up, like they've done with some of their other games. But it's a full-on remake for the 3DS. And if you like Dragon Quest, it is exactly that for dozens upon dozens upon dozens of hours.
Is that a good thing?
Yeah, sure. I mean, it's, you know, Dragon Quest, you know, is also Squaresoft and is slightly more popular than Final Fantasy in Japan and slightly less popular than Final Fantasy in the US. And it's a much more traditional RPG. Like, you go to a town, there is an inn, there is an item shop, there is a weapon shop, there is a place where you can save, and there are people that give you quests. And in between doing the quests, you run out into the world map, and you run around and you grind for enough money to buy the new weapon. And then that's, you know, and you level up as well. But there's not a lot of, like, crafting or any of that. It's a really old school style. Like, every 7 levels, you learn a new spell, and it's based on your job. And as the game goes on, you can change job classes like in a traditional... It's a really traditional JRPG, but with really nice graphics and all that kind of stuff. And I've really enjoyed it so far. I'm not very far into it, maybe 15 or 20 hours just playing in my downtime or, you know, when something's on the TV. Yeah, I think it's pretty good. The one thing I would say about the 3DS version that I feel is a bit of a misstep since they remade it from the ground up is that it doesn't really use the bottom screen at all. Like, it displays information and occasionally a map, but there's no touch functionality to it. It's not usable in battles. Like, if you played Chrono Trigger 3DS or on DS, they did a really good job of making that touchscreen optional, but totally usable and really functional. And they didn't really do that in this remake. It's just kind of there.
I have Chrono Trigger 3DS or DS just over here, actually.
I love that. I mean, Chrono Trigger is my favorite game of all time, and I really think that the DS version is really the definitive one. But yeah, I've been liking that, and the only other thing I've been playing is I got a hankering for some Elder Scrolls this week. Not even really thinking about the fact that it's next week that the Elder Scrolls remaster drops, something like that.
Oh yeah, for PlayStation and Xbox.
Yeah, and
PC.
If you own it on PC, we get it for free.
Oh really? Awesome! I'll look forward to getting that for free.
I was not. I was like, whatever. I own it on PC. I got all the mods forever. And it was actually Rob who said, yeah, well, you know, it's 64-bit, and if you own it, you just get it for free on PC. And I was like, oh, sweet. I'm going to enjoy
way better
that
processing. Hopefully, way less lag on some of the stuff. Yeah,
probably more complex modding if you're into that. But yeah, better scripting. But I got it.
Lighting.
Yeah,
that horrible. Like vanilla Skyrim, and I've never found a mod that fixes this, has that weird, like, it looks like it's SNES era shadows with the huge jaggies on them that run at like 2 frames per second.
Yeah, those really big shadows. That's very true. But yeah, I didn't even think about that when I decided to dive in, and I loaded up Morrowind. First.
Good choice.
Yeah, it's the best one.
Yeah, and I grabbed some. I played it for a little bit vanilla, and then I grabbed a couple of mods for it. Not really huge, like, you know, game changing mods, but just like some graphic upgrades and graphics extender and like readable signs, you know, things like that. And fired it back up again, and it absolutely would not run. I used the Nexus Mods like downloader. I used their modding tool. I followed all their instructions, but it said that master game files were missing. And even after a complete uninstall and reinstall of both Morrowind and Nexus Mod, I couldn't even get it back to vanilla version. It just won't play anymore. Huh.
That is every time I go back and try to play Oblivion. I spend 4 hours modding it until I break the game, and then I get pissed and uninstall it. And I never make it out of that first fucking dungeon with Patrick Stewart.
You mean Uriel's septum, the man with the biggest septum of them all?
Yeah, that's very true. But yeah, so then I went to Skyrim, and I realized that in my PC version, I've never played what I've always played as my first playthrough of any Elder Scrolls, which is Wood Elf, Archer, Thief. That's always my first playthrough. But I hadn't done that on PC with mods because I had played the crap out of it on 360 beforehand. So I made a Wood Elf, Archer, Thief and started the game for a little bit. But then I was like, I have played so much Skyrim and I have seen it. And I realized that I did not own Oblivion on PC. So for $20 last night, I bought the Game of the Year edition of Oblivion, and it took me about 90 minutes to get it working with my Steam controller, and I played it all frickin' day today. It was so much fun. Vanilla Oblivion with the Steam controller. I'm having a blast.
So I happened to find at a Best Buy, they had a random sale where I got the entire Elder Scrolls collection.
Oh, nice.
For $20.
Mm-hmm.
It was like mispriced. So I got the whole thing.
Holy shit! Yeah.
Yeah, the whole collection.
Does that even come with Arena and everything?
Yeah, it's the entire, like, it's the Game of the Year edition of all of them, and Arena, and like the original Elder Scrolls.
Daggerfall.
Yeah, it's the entire setup.
And those are fun, but you know, it is though, like the step from Morrowind to Daggerfall is the step from Skyrim to Morrowind again.
Yeah,
you know? Like
at least.
Yeah, like
it's actually somewhere around here. I think it's actually downstairs on display. It comes with maps for all of them. It comes with the manuals. Like, it comes with like all that stuff. It was a really good bundle.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
Daggerfall is the only Elder Scrolls game that I've never made significant progress in.
Really?
I mean, Arena. I got way into Elder Scrolls several years ago. I got the fucking Engage game and played that.
That's
Wow,
right.
you
I
had an
remember when you
N-Gage?
brought that N-Gage over to my house, dude. That thing was like nearly impossible to play. Like,
Yeah.
oh my God, it made your head hurt to wrap your brain around the like mechanics of how they made that work on that tiny little screen.
Yep.
I didn't
I
know you
played
had that.
Battlespire, which was the weird spin-off action game.
Yeah. Well, they made two of them, didn't they? Didn't they make one? No, I'm thinking of Fallout that they made that.
No. Yeah,
For
no,
PS.
there were two. Yeah, there was what was the other one called? Blackguards, maybe? It just hit GOG like a year ago.
Only we had a machine in front of us.
With
Oh,
the wealth
yeah.
of the ages.
All of the information of the universe.
But yeah, like going back to Daggerfall, that game is so broken. It's completely unapproachable. You're better off going to Arena, in my opinion.
Yeah, aren't large sections of it like procedurally generated?
The whole game is, yeah. And
Redguard is the name of the other one, by the way.
Redguard.
It's Battlespire and Redguard. Yeah.
that is also completely unplayable.
Oh. And that was that also an N-Gage game? I don't remember.
No, that was a PC game.
Okay.
But yeah, that Engage game is bad just because the Engage is bad.
Yeah.
But for what it is, like, it's kind of
Hey, man,
cool.
If
In
they had
2003,
made
you know.
if they had made something of similar but upgraded quality for like that canceled version of Oblivion for PSP or something for Vita, like I would play the crap out of it. And I've always said, like, if you gave me an island the size of Solstheim and packed it full of content, I wouldn't need much or expect much more from that. From a handheld Elder Scrolls game. Like, I wouldn't demand a massive map with 4 provinces. Like I'm saying, a map the size of Shivering Isles with plenty of content.
Oh yeah, that was
be
great.
I would be fine for that on a handheld. You know?
Hell, just give me
I'm
Shivering
amazed, no-
Isles.
Yeah, Shivering Isles. Yeah, Port Oblivion to the Vita. But how come there's not even any knockoffs? You know, usually for every big franchise you can find a cheaper handheld version. No one makes that for any of the handhelds.
That's true. That's true. I mean, and I guess you could. I haven't really looked at the Vita library in very long, but the same can be said, I think, of Grand Theft Auto, which I think is the other one that everybody's like, if they had made a GTA for that system, it would have sold so many. But where's the Saints Row for Vita? You know what I mean? Like, where's
those to make those worlds, you have to have a much greater pool of resources than I think those tools can provide, and still make that world feel lived in. Like there's
GTA 3, just do a GTA 3, level graphics and stuff. No one's gonna.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, those Liberty City stories and Vice City stories for the PSP, they didn't look good, but they felt like GTA, and so they were so much fun. To this day, Vice City Stories is my well, okay, now GTA 5, maybe, never mind. But before GTA 5, I think Liberty City Stories was my favorite. Partially because of all the fun I had just playing it on a little handheld. And, I would accept a downgrade in graphics to be able to play Elder Scrolls Travels. I don't know, what's that island? Somerset Isle, you know what I mean? Like if it was 2 or 3 islands, and that would mask load times, I feel like, really well. You get on a boat and then it just loads the next island, 2 or 3 of them, and you travel back and forth. I'd play the crap out of that game.
Yeah.
But you're right. The resources may be too huge.
Yeah, I think
if the Vita had sold 5 times as many units, there'd be more temptation.
If Sony had put 5 times more effort into the Vita, then maybe that would happen.
That's also very true. It's a lot of Sony's fault. But the first really big investments in the Vita, even from third parties, didn't really pay off. Like, yes, Assassin's Creed Liberation sucked, but even so, it's Assassin's Creed. Like most games like that, it's going to make most of its money on launch day or on pre-orders, and it didn't do that. So it didn't convince. There were probably a lot of people looking at how the first Call of Duty for Vita and the first Assassin's Creed for Vita were going to play out. And then when they didn't, they were like, well, maybe we should scrap that Bioshock for Vita.
I would have played that so much.
Yeah.
The only big AAA successful games the Vita had really were Uncharted and Gravity Rush.
Yeah, and
Gravity Rush
Tearaway.
is coming to PS4.
Yeah, Tearaway was really good. Although by that time, a lot of people had checked out. But I love
Also coming to PS4.
That's true, and I wonder how they're going to do that. Well, probably with just they'll just change the bells
VR.
and whistles.
It's VR.
Yeah, but yeah, that's true. But one of my favorite parts of that game was like I remember in one level you run into these characters that are just paper. You know, they don't have any design to them, and you're supposed to design them. And I ran into this. He's all white. This like moose, like elk guy. And he was like, you need to, I need to have colors. I need to be colorful. And then it activated my camera, and I took a picture of a Budweiser can that was in front of me. And for the rest of the game, where there were these Budweiser elk like running around everywhere. And that was a cool moment in that.
Yeah, games that let you affect their world like that's a nice, charming thing, especially when they don't put any stipulation on it. And they allow that choice to be pervade through the entire game. And they could have just said, "Oh yeah, here's a sticker of that," and now you have that in your inventory.
Look how it's there now.
Yeah, but every one of those characters now have that way. Mm-hmm. I made that mistake with the Penguin King in that game where he wanted a crown, I drew him a pair of balls and a dick to wear on his head. I did something
very similar, I think. Yeah, it was a giant penis crown. Yep. It was very erect, and mine was lopsided. It went off this way, if I remember correctly. Yep, and a mustache.
I didn't do the mustache. I just had the balls and dick. But breaking games like that is always fun. So when I play mobile games and they have those ads where they come up and you have to click the little X button, they're sometimes really tricky. Yeah. Sometimes those X's don't actually work and they just send you to the game anyway. Sure. So, fuck it. I download it. Why not? Let's give it a try.
Really?
Most of the time it's terrible.
Yeah.
This last time I got one called Episodes, which is like a Mean Girls episode, choose your own adventure from several choices things.
Wow.
I would play that.
Yeah, so I'm like, sweet, awesome. I load up my character, make her look as skanky as I can, and they're like, "Oh, what's your name?" And I'm like, "Bottom bitch." And it's like, well, you can't use that word. It seems like you used a bad word. Okay, I'm sorry, I won't do it again. Bottom biatch. Oh, that's fine. Great to see you, Bottom biatch.
Good to go. Yep.
So now I've got several screenshots that it's like, Bottom biatch, what? And then the other one's like, well, I hope you survive your first day, Bottom biatch. I love it when you can break stuff like that.
Oh yeah, in my current in my only playthrough ever of a Pokemon game, I talked about this last time I was on. I'm playing Pokemon Y, and I named my character Fartsucker, and I love the moments where it's like, Fartsucker, a fine, noble name. Yes. You will happily carry this gym badge, and I'm like, yep, I happily will. Could it be? Is it really Fartsucker? It really is.
It's Fartsucker, that legendary hero amongst men.
What ho, hath Gemini child slapper come to join us?
Oh God.
Oh, that was good. Yeah.
Note to self.
Wait,
learn
that's
where
what
cough
I've been
button
playing.
is. Awesome. Well, thanks, man. Rob, what's been getting your goat this week?
So didn't play anything besides the topic game, but I do want to talk about some news since we don't have a news section.
I know what you want to talk about.
I've been thinking about starting a news section on this podcast. I think that'd be keeping it relevant. So, Rob. How long am I supposed to do this for?
News on the march.
There we go. What do we got, Rob?
So, two things. First, small thing. PSVR came out this week.
Yes.
Yeah.
How is yours?
Get it?
No, I didn't get it.
Oh, damn.
Did you guys get it?
No.
I
played with Oculus touch controllers this week, and that's fucking amazing.
I want to hear about that. Yeah, the fucking. They sold out in 10 seconds.
I still have some at my location.
You have PSVRs?
Yeah.
Oh well, the Amazon pre-orders sold out right when they announced them.
Oh, and then they got more in that later on that same shipping day. You should have looked back.
Hey, so have you used them? Do you guys demoed them or anything?
Okay. The only VR I've tried is your Oculus, Rob, and bought myself a Google Cardboard. Fooled around with that.
Oh, you didn't want to wait. Days. You didn't want to wait for Daydream.
No, I guess not.
Daydream is their new one.
Daydream. That's the new
The new
VR.
gargle. The new gurgle.
Gargle?
The
Wow.
new gargoyle.
The new Google. Wow. The new I can't do it, guys. The Google VR. There we go.
Google Cardboard.
Yeah.
I like gargoyle. I would way
gargoyle.
prefer
The
it.
gargoyle.
Yes, the Google Gargoyle.
It's voiced by Brent
I might
Spiner.
pre-order it. Yeah.
But yeah, they're making something else that's used with their Pixel phones. That they're making. So we'll have to see how that goes as far as a middle level VR system.
Interesting.
The Gear VR is damn good too.
I have a customer that comes into work and he's got like 3 of those because he just orders phones, and I really just want to be like, hey buddy, you're not using that. Like, let me tell you.
Speaking of people not using VR headsets, Jordan, did you ever get mine working, or you want to just ship that back to me?
I got it working.
Okay.
I did get it working. My next thought is to see if those touch controllers will work with the DK2.
Should.
Because, dude, that was fucking amazing. So I work at an electronics shop, and we happen to have
Circuit City.
Yes, I work at Circuit City.
Right.
Oh, Dylan, hold on. Dylan is on the line here. Dylan, you're on the Game Out Loud podcast. How you doing there, sir?
Hi, Dylan.
Oh, not too bad. How is everybody?
How are you guys doing tonight?
It's the 200th episode.
It's the
Say
200th
something about
episode
it.
there, buddy. Give us a 200th episode memoriam thing here.
All right. Well, it's a wonderful, wonderful honor, actually, to even be allowed on the 200th
Great.
episode. I'm
Awesome.
sorry,
Thank
It's
you.
I heard it's a wonderful,
Wonderful
flag.
grapple. He said it's a wonderful,
Definitely
wonderful
missed you guys.
grapple.
All going well. Again, congratulations on your 200th. That's amazing. Go team and all that jazz.
Riding. Everyone there.
Yeah, yep. Awesome, Dylan. I don't think the message is being translated properly, but I will give you a call here when we're done with this 200th episode. All right, buddy?
200 episodes, folks. It's a wonderful
Yeah,
grapple.
I'll hear from you soon.
Awesome. Thanks, buddy. Later. Now, if it was anybody else other than Dylan, I wouldn't have picked that up, but
Wonderful grapple.
Ripple grapple.
Yeah.
But yeah, that dude, the Oculus touch controllers, that was real cool because your fingers can only go in there one way, and the way it basically reads you is
Go on.
it links. Wow, it's weird. These fingers together. This is individual and this is individual. So you can do like the shooting motion, you can do the thumbs up, you can do a grab motion. And the way they implemented that was really, really well done. So I could like squeeze my left hand and create a shield, and like my right hand hold a sword, like by doing certain things and like swinging it. The 1-to-1 was really nice.
Wow.
It was, I had to look down and grab a hammer and then whack that hammer in specific places on an anvil to create a flaming javelin and then hurl that javelin at a demonic creature.
That's pretty awesome,
And
actually.
I was standing like in this ruined city, like New York, just like there's fire everywhere. The subway's going a long ways off, but then there's this demon standing there, and I'm casting fireballs by gripping my hand, and it creates a fireball in there if I hold it long enough, and I can throw it at him. And if I like grab both hands and stretch them apart, then it creates a lightning bolt that I can then like light things on fire
Wow.
with. My left hand, if you grab and then like present forward, it creates a shield. So then you can block his attack and then throw your own attack back at him. It was a lot of fun, guys. Let me tell you, I was having a fucking blast. Like getting in there, and then as it advances, it's like, okay, look down and grab the hammer. It's like Thor's hammer. Okay, make the lightning bolt. So I grab it, and you see these little symbols, and you have to be like, wham, 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 and then it creates it, and you grab it and then hurl it at him. Oh, like spinning around. You're in this whole big world. You got a good headset on. Fuck, dude. Like, I really need to go get my MSI board RMA'd. I haven't done that yet because it's got more than enough USB ports to run this thing. I need to get me some touch controllers.
Yeah.
Nice.
I'm on the pre-order list for that, so I need to get my order in because finally I won't feel like I'm being left behind by the fucking Vive, which I should have ordered in the first place. But yeah, like everyone who's used the touch controller says the same thing, that they kick ass.
Now, are you not happy with your Oculus versus what you've seen with the Vive?
Well, the Vive has the touch controllers, and I think Steam VR is a way better platform than what Oculus has.
Facebook.
But the Oculus does both, So, I mean,
There you go.
no great loss there. But like, if I was if someone said what VR headset should I get right now, I'd say a Vive at this point.
Gotcha.
We'll see what happens with the when the touch controllers come out. But,
Given where I work, if someone asks me that, I say Oculus. But if I'm not at work,
yeah,
I still
Well,
say
the
Oculus
Oculus,
because
yeah,
I like the Oculus.
it's a great headset. It's more comfortable. It has kick-ass headphones that are built in. I mean, it's still a great headset, definitely. But anyway, on to non-VR stuff. My dog will stop barking at the cat.
You have a cat?
No, it's the neighbor's cat comes up to our window and taunts my dog.
Awesome. Yep. Sounds like a
pretty funny.
cat.
So there was a small announcement this morning. Let me tell you the story of a little game developer called Rockstar Games.
Oh, they're making a new Bully.
Yeah.
They're hitting the dusty trail
And making Bully.
and making bully.
And making
They're
bully.
pulling out their pea shooters. Gonna shoot them some bullies.
Yeah, new Red Dead, huh?
Yeah, the cleverly named Red Dead Redemption 2.
Yes, and can we just take a moment to say rest in peace to Reddit user Skating Brad 2, who had his account deleted for the ridiculous bet he made on the Xbox One subreddit.
What was that?
What was this?
You guys didn't see this? This made bigger news today on the Xbox. Actually, it made its way over to our gaming and r/PS4. Bigger news than the Red Dead Redemption announcement was like 2 days ago, when they posted the screenshot of all the guys riding on the horses. So yesterday, this guy Skating Brad 2 made a post where he said, I will literally mount my camera on a tripod, turn it on, shit into my toilet, scoop the shit out, and then suck on a piece of my own shit if Red Dead Redemption 2 is announced within the next week. And 24 hours later, and everybody who said the post was like, oh, you gave yourself a really good out, because you said Red Dead Redemption 2, and everybody knows if it's like it's probably getting announced, but it's going to be called Red Dead Revenge. It's going to be called Red Dead
Revengeance,
Revengeance, Red Dead Revolution. It could be a million different things. But so they were like, that's your out. And then sure enough, this morning, and now there's a big conspiracy theory that Rockstar saw the thread, pushed the announcement of a week, changed the time, so rest in peace, user account Skating Brad 2, because he said it, and within 60 seconds of posting it, a mod had posted, "You are permabanned unless you follow through." and then within half an hour of that, he was at the top of that screenshot announcement. And so when it got announced this morning, very top comment was a quote of his comment, being like, "All right, buddy, let's see you eat some shit." And he was like, okay, guys, so how about I donate $200 to a charity that everybody votes for? And they're like, fuck you, eat shit.
Yeah.
It's a G.G. Allen performance or nothing, motherfucker.
Yeah, exactly. And so he deleted his account, and which had been gilded multiple times. And now
what's gilded?
He got gold for post. It just means somebody
okay. I thought you were saying something like gelded, and I'm like, he's been neutered.
But then 2.5 hours later, randomly, surprisingly, a user named Skating Brad 3 made an account. And for the last 4 hours, he has just been bombarded with private messages and topic posts that are like, "Eat the shit, dude. It's time to eat the shit. Man. It's really not going to be that bad. There's whole porn channels dedicated to it. People do it. You got to eat the shit." Anyway, so yeah, and also Red Dead Redemption 2.
Brad.
And also Red Dead Redemption 2. So,
right.
Yeah, in fact, Red Dead Redemption 1 is installing on my Xbox One right now.
Nice. I have to fish out my copy and do the same thing.
I think I still own Dylan's copy of Red Dead Redemption.
There you go.
I don't think I ever got that back to him before we parted ways. Now, did you guys ever play Red Dead?
A revolver? No,
I did not. Yeah.
You did? No, neither one of you.
No.
Oh,
Was it good?
No.
No.
Yeah, I heard it wasn't good.
It was good for its time. I remember enjoying it. It was really basic. I mean, it basically was back when Max Payne was the first thing to do bullet time, and this brought something new to the table with how that worked. So I remember liking it a lot, and then I remember liking Gun afterwards. But Red Dead Redemption, yeah, Gun was fantastic.
Call of War as Gunslinger. Did you guys ever pick that up?
Yeah. I played the first little bit of that. I still own it. I haven't beat it. I should go back and do it. I know it's pretty short.
I loved that game. That was the best cowboy game since
you and
Red Dead
Colin
Redemption.
really liked that one.
Oh man, that was so fun. I played it in like 2 sittings.
Yeah.
I never got too far into it. I have it. I own it based on your guys' recommendation. But
yeah, same here. Like I said, I played like the first 2 hours and enjoyed it. Just didn't pick it back up again.
How about Outlaws? The old LucasArts game. You guys play that back in the day? It was like LucasArts trying to do Doom.
Oh man,
really?
Really sounds familiar.
But it was a cowboy shooter. It was between Dark Forces and Jedi Knight.
So
They
it
had
was
another
PC.
shooter.
I don't
didn't
remember
have a
that
PC
one.
for that time, so I probably didn't.
I think it was on the PS1. I
Outlaws.
think that it was.
It sounds really familiar.
Do you guys remember Kiss Psycho Circus?
Yeah, somehow, yeah.
That
The game no one bought.
Hey, I bought it and I played it. Ow, I just got
And I
nipped.
played it.
Yeah, I just got nipped by a sugar glider. I startled him. But dude, I remember that game, the Quake reskin. It's like Chex Quest, but for Kiss and Quake instead of Doom.
Did they make it using real Gene Simmons blood? And
Just-
hopefully, like, fucking bleach that shit for hepatitis C?
I think you broke
Yikes.
Jack.
Am I broken?
No, just the face you made there for a second, like looked like you were gonna lose it.
Yeah, that was a bad game. Kiss Psycho Circus was a bad game.
Wait,
I
Jack,
played the demo.
I just remembered you're using a camera from an Xbox.
I am using yes, I am. I'm using a camera from a Xbox 360. This is an original. It's not even Kinect. This is an Xbox Live Vision Cam that I bought for $2.99 at a Goodwill in Venice, Florida.
Now, could
which
you
is
tell
largely
me
a retirement community?
who's the maker of that headset you're wearing?
Oh, this is a Sony branded headset. Official Sony PlayStation headset.
Indeed.
Great.
I'm
headset.
actually, in order to get the angle of, because I'm sitting at the desk that also is my entertainment center, I had to turn my Xbox One Connect on its end and then place the Vision Cam on top of it.
So it's standing
to get it at
vertically?
this height. Yeah, it's standing vertically, but I'm not using that camera. I'm using a separate camera sitting on top of it, plugged into the USB on my PC. You really should see my setup. I mean, it's like short circuit up in here.
It's legit. It's profesh.
Well, hopefully when I get this room set up, I'll have like behind me, I'll get like all the other books set up again. And I'll have like another desk here too, because I have a whole bunch of room in here now. As you notice, there's a lot of white where there used to be bookshelves. So I've got...
Mostly bookshelf, actually. You framed it nicely.
that was the idea, because
wish.
it looks like garbage everywhere else. If I turn this camera 90 degrees, it's a fucking war zone.
Oh, it's the same thing. Same thing. I'm really strategically placed
Like,
here.
If I go...
See, oh man.
Okay. Well, hey,
Fucking
you didn't.
war
Now you
zone.
didn't have to.
Destroyed the
All right.
illusion, I know.
Yeah.
See, at the behest of my wife, my PC is actually not in my man cave, where I have like my big shelves full of
Sure.
cool shit. So it's all that space is wasted as a background. It would look so good. I have like Mark Hamill's autograph to me, and
Yeah,
you know,
that's
my
amazing,
Looking Glass Games big box set collection,
dude.
and
Why aren't you recording in there?
Come on, man. Just for the recording, at least.
yeah, maybe I don't know. I have a little laptop back there. Maybe at some point no, because then I gotta like my mixer's out here and my good mic, and just a pain in the ass to move it all.
Why is
We'll
it
see
all
that.
out in front room? Why wouldn't you want that all in the back?
Because I share this computer with my wife, who uses it while I'm at work, and she didn't want it tucked back in a room.
So why don't you just go to Best Buy, get your computer a wife, or your wife a computer?
Oh.
Oh man,
Get your computer a
getting
wife.
serious.
Yeah. You got to rub their
Download.
SCSI ports together, and then that's how a laptop is made.
Oh God.
Oh man, I should get into PC breeding then.
There you go.
No,
Yeah.
see, what you really need to
breeding
do-
the master race.
You need to go get a couple of Macs, rub them together, and that's
Just
how
be
you start
careful.
making Mac Minis.
Just be careful because they're cracking down on laptop farms, man. Like the ethics behind it.
Yeah.
People for the ethical treatments of computers. Betsy.
Betsy.
Really?
P-Talk.
Oh, God. I love this group. But anything else been taking up your time there, buds?
That's it, man. That's what I've been playing.
Yeah, that was really the big news this
What
week.
about you, Jordan? What about you? What have you been playing?
I've been playing the Try to Stay Awake game. And in that time, I have made an attempt to play Mafia 3 more.
Oh,
Oh,
you're playing the
okay.
wrong thing to stay awake.
I'd be interested.
that's
I'd be
true.
interested to hear about that.
It's racist. As a story. It's supposed to be.
Yeah, I was gonna say I heard that it was a critique of racism.
It is. It's a period piece set in the '68, if I'm not mistaken, which is a very tumultuous time just after the death of King and the furthering of the civil rights movement. So it's a period piece looking at that, and you play well, he's not black, but he's not white, so he might as well be black in the eyes of everybody else. Character who is trying to basically take over the white mafia. The black mafia is taking over the white mafia. This is basically what you're doing. I mean, it's good. The first couple hours are very, very compelling. I enjoy the story they have going on. The characters are very well done. The cinematics are fucking amazing. Like, there's points where I'm just like, this is the next level. Like, the way they do some of this. The lip syncing's fantastic. The pits in their face look natural.
And we all know how important that is.
Face painting is really important.
You gotta
Especially
have
if Danny Trejo's in your game.
Right.
Yes, you gotta have the right pits.
Edward James Olmos.
Yes.
Yeah. I saw a video comparison of Mafia 3 and Mafia 2 on YouTube, and I haven't played either game, so I can't speak personally to it. But it was just a lot of how Mafia 2 just was a lot more complex in the way you could design and it was simple things like how opening and closing door animations worked, and it just looked like a lot of the animations in Mafia 3 were just kind of lazy and not as specific. And
exactly, and that's the thing. It feels like they put a lot of effort into their story. It feels like they put a lot of effort into their cinematics. It feels like they put a lot of effort into the whole idea of what this game is. And then they forgot to put the effort into the gameplay and the systems at hand. So there's no reason for this game to be in an open world whatsoever. It'd be a much better experience as a linearly driven story. The driving, the overworld is not something that I find I want to spend a lot of time in. One of the things they charge you with is tapping these wiretaps, and Dylan literally did 100% of them and got nothing for it. Like it didn't benefit him.
Are you shitting me?
Yeah. So he's like, I put all that time in, fuck this game. Like, it didn't even say, like, there wasn't even an achievement that was like, oh, you did them all. Good job. Like, it had no in-game reward. It had no meta reward. It was just something to do, literally.
Wow. Just literally filler content.
Yeah. And the game is pretty rote. Talk to guy, open up new area, talk to new bosses in that area, 2 different mission sets start, finish those 2 mission sets, bring out the boss, convert the boss, or kill the boss. That's the...
Yeah. I read that there's they're super repetitive, boring shootouts where you don't... I mean, there's no There's no... I don't even know how to explain it. There's no stealth element or good use of cover or anything like that. You're just fucking shooting guys.
Dudes?
Yep.
Like a game from 2005.
My favorite action was I actually was going to be quiet, and I messed up, and my guy stepped around the corner when I told him to go into cover. He went into cover on the opposite side of the wall.
Sure, it happens to me in GTA all the time.
Yeah, so he went on the other side. All the guys see me. They just go, huh? And then they just start attacking. So I go around the other side of the wall. They, one guy will come and file in, melee takedown. Another guy will come and file in, melee takedown. Another guy will come... I did that for the entire base.
Wow.
Entire base.
Just every single person just came in one after another, and you dropped them.
Melee takedown. No tactic to try to move around me. No tactic to try to get into any other location. Send one person, walk through door. There was a body pile. I didn't move my character. I just put his left shoulder against the wall, hit B when people went by.
Yeah. Took down an entire base.
Yep.
That's amazing.
Yep. That's where I was like, wow, this is really bad. There's no reason to upgrade. There's no reason to do anything. There's no reason to shoot anybody. Like, the only thing I had for that game was the story and like what that's going to be, and I don't see that playing out in any meaningful way with what they're trying to have me do here. So I'm kind of disappointed in that fact, but it does look fantastic, and I can tell they wanted to put a lot of effort into that and into that story. I think they chose the wrong medium to do this. I think they should have done a
like a Max Payne.
Yeah, a more linear thing. Have a shooting gallery, put more time into your AI, like some AI, program AI.
Do make them do something.
Yeah, like
Besides walk forward to their death.
Was this Square? Is this a Square game?
No, it's 2K.
It is 2K?
2K.
Yeah, okay.
At least I do believe it's 2K, if I'm not mistaken. I would.
I guess they can afford a flop.
I would. I would just look it up, but my right hand is being held onto by there we go, by a sugar glider.
You are correct. It is 2K.
Yay! 2K venture.
I guess maybe that's why Rockstar announced Red Dead 2.
Red Dead. Yeah.
Take-Two Interactive was like, shit, guys. We just made Mafia 3. We need some money.
Right. It's terrible. But playing that, I also put time into. I can't make any jokes without being racist. Because I'm playing Shadow Warrior.
No.
Like Shadow Warrior 2.
You've got the touch.
Is that racist?
It's a very racist thing. They make reference to...
The first game was racist.
The second one is
the
rather...
second game wasn't.
Yeah, it's rough. But that is a lot of fun. They converted that to a more Borderlands style game where you can have 4 people running around causing this mischief and mayhem and cutting enemies to pieces, and it's a lot of fun. You should.
So it's four-player co-op.
Yeah, you can still play it on your own, and it feels just like Shadow Warrior. There's more weapons to pick up. You can get like these different things to slot. You can slot your weapons basically, and put gems in there to make them more powerful, or choose specific effects or the like. You have a lot of abilities to level up. You have a lot of different things to do in it. It looks fantastic, and it's really fun. It seems like it's going to be more Shadow Warrior. If you like that gameplay, fast movement, lots of blood, lots of gore, just trying to take everybody out and be as cool as possible while doing it, while hearing bad Lo Wang jokes. That's about what it is. Do what you will with that information, but I'm enjoying it. That being said, Rob, are you...
Never even heard of that. Shadow Warrior?
Oh, it's a good series.
Yeah.
It was...
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's like Rise of the Triad
90s.
era.
Yeah, well, a little after, I think.
Well, that's fine.
Duke 3D came out. It was basically Duke 3D 2. They just they changed the setting, and it was more of like a kung fu spoof game. But if you like Duke 3D, similar level design, good stuff. And then the reboot came out a couple years ago. It's pretty damn good.
Yeah,
cool.
And anywhere like. So they kept the part where you can have like basic attack where you just click and he randomly swings. They have arcade attack where which direction you're moving will cause the attack to move that direction. Or they have advanced where a combination of your movement and your look will cause the weapon to move in a specific arc. So you can choose exactly how you're going to attack and how you're going to slice, which is really nice. And... I mean, every time I do something like this, Rob, I hear you on the podcast saying, well, if someone's going to break this game, it's going to be Jordan. Found a little system where if you charge up your pierce attack, you get a little bit of a dash in, and it's not very far. But if you jump and do it, you get a little bit more of a dash. Now, I started messing around with that idea and trying Quake's sort of like diagonal movement.
The bunny hopping?
Yeah.
Idea, right? But more so, it's the fact that you move quicker while you're angling than you are going forward. So I tried that idea and I moved a little farther. So then I did an actual wind-up jump using that, and I flew off the map. So the trigger to stop you from moving forward is directly related to moving forward. from the direction you were looking. So if, like, let's say an enemy is off to your left, you start facing right, and you charge that, jump and turn left, you will just drive into that enemy. Like in the overworld, I managed to jump all the way from one side of it to the other and off the edge. Like, and I use that, like, if I'm trying to get, like, I was playing with Ryan, the co-op. He was going all the way around trying to find this way over. I'm like, no way, dude, I can make that. And so I did that weird jump, and he just flew over the whole gap and, like, landed on the other side. I was like, yeah, this is what I'm talking about. I like breaking games like this. But yeah, Shadow Warrior 2, check it out. If you like Shadow Warrior, I'm saying that really weird. Shadow Warrior. If you like Shadow Warrior, check that out. But I think at this point we're going to go on to extra points, the part where we talk about non-video game related stuff. So, Jack, is your shirt your extra point? Is that what I heard earlier?
Does it have to be? I don't know. I mean, I'm wearing a shirt that I bought in the parking lot of a Fish concert. It's like a play on words for like a band that I used to listen to a lot more in college.
Oh, Harpua and Kahlua. I see.
There you go.
That's why I was recognizing.
That's what it is. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a Fish song. It's Harpua.
Uh-huh.
I guess that's my extra point. I don't know. I didn't know we were doing this. I have nothing prepared. I cede my time.
All right, Rob. What's your extra point?
I'm also not prepared, but I have no excuse, so I'll make something up. I watched a lot of cartoons this week.
When you said you were going to make something up, I was expecting something grandiose and fun, and you just went like mundane.
Yeah, I went out and I learned how to juggle chainsaws this week.
I was going to say, because I don't think I don't think you made that up. I think you really did watch a lot of cartoons.
Yeah, exactly.
Week, and I think you did make up the thing about juggling chainsaws.
Oh, I've been caught. My ploy has been foiled. Yeah, I've been on a big cartoon kick, so watched tons of Rick and Morty, some Archer, Frisky Dingo, Metalocalypse. I'll talk about Metalocalypse. I don't think I've talked about that on the show. You guys ever watch this show?
Awaken, take the lives that must be taken.
Yeah, super funny show.
Yes, the answer is yes from Jordan. I've seen a couple episodes.
And the thing I love about it, if you are a metal fan, there's little Easter eggs for you, but none of the actual humor is based around that. It's like you'll see him go to like a Burzum's Burger or a Dimmu Burger, or you'll hear like
that's awesome.
Or like King Diamond does a voice, or Izan from Emperor. You know, there are lots of metal musicians. I think the Metallica guys are in it. It's just little stuff like that. But the actual humor is just fucking absurd, over the top, raucous, ridiculous, you know, like heads exploding and
I wanted to give you the most metal gift of all. Nothing. Do you folks like coffee?
They do a coffee jingle. And I had seen this show somewhat back when it was on the air. And Jack, you and I actually went and saw Deathclaw live.
Yeah, we did. That was fun.
Yeah, it was great. They played with Converge and Mastodon. It was a really good show.
Converge was my favorite band of that night, actually.
Converge, yeah, is great. I've seen them a couple times, and they always put on an awesome show. But I'd never sat down and like watched the show in order. I'd only seen it sometimes, like when it was on Adult Swim. So sitting down and seeing like that it actually kind of has a plot running through it that gets more and more in depth. And they start off with the 12-minute episodes, and then in season 3 switch to the full 22. So the story gets even more involved, and I found myself like actually getting into it. So yeah.
That's a good show. I like Metalocalypse.
Yeah, great characters. I love Toki.
Yeah.
I love their nonsense, both guitarists, nonsense, Scandinavian, like made up accents.
Mm-hmm.
I'll have to check it out.
Oh yeah, dude. Metalocalypse is fantastic. Like it's a really, really good show.
Yeah.
I just like that one song a lot. Awaken.
Well, it's Brendan Small, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually watched a bunch of home movies this week. So I'm very familiar. I just haven't watched that show yet.
Is that the same guy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Home movies is brilliant. And I think I still think it cartoon wise, at least, it's still the best work H. John Benjamin has done.
Have you guys watched F for Family?
No, the Bill Burr one.
Yeah, I enjoy that one,
Yeah.
and I don't know why.
I don't know. Everybody loves BoJack, and I get why people love BoJack, but I don't love BoJack.
I like BoJack. I don't love BoJack.
Yeah.
I can watch
feel-
BoJack and appreciate the humor of it, but it's
Yeah.
is that Bill Burr?
But I don't laugh at it. I see the joke, and I'm like, "Yep, I get it," and that was the joke. And it landed. I just didn't.
Yeah, I just don't care to laugh.
You know.
It's not Bill Burr, but they're both Netflix.
Yeah.
I like F is for Family. I had a good time with that one this week.
All right.
I'm kind of piggybacking off of Rob's extra
Watching
point there.
cartoons. Apparently, that's what we're doing.
I watched The Glitch as well. I don't know how to feel about that one. Ryan recommended I watch a show, but I can't remember what it was. I'll have to ask him what it was. But I started one last night. It came up. Shit, what was it? It's about a spaceship. These people wake up on it and they don't know who they are or why they're out there or.
Is that sci-fi show?
The 100 or the something like that. Is that what it's called?
The Expanse? Is that it?
Yeah, I think that's it.
I think the dude that plays Adam Jensen is on that show from Deus Ex.
Somebody else was telling me about this show too, and everybody on Earth is dead, but the people that are
I don't know about that.
Okay.
Dark Matter.
Nope,
Dark
different.
Matter?
Dark Matter I started watching, and Glitch, where dead people come back to life. And I started watching Haters Back Off with, holy shit, I love cringe compilations. And this is a Netflix TV series that is just that.
Wow.
What's it called?
Haters Back Off. It's a particular comedian. She plays this character that thinks she's amazing, and she doesn't understand how the internet or YouTube works, but she creates a YouTube video and she thinks she's famous. It makes me look away. It's so hard to watch sometimes.
Okay, I know I'm way behind the times, but I got linked to a comment to somewhere, to something on Wikipedia, and discovered really for the first time the story of the YouTube sensation Kristen Weston Chandler. And it sounds like that's a lot like what this is. Have you guys ever heard of this guy?
No, I don't know what that is.
He was you guys would know it if you saw it, if you heard it, so he's this adult man. I think he's he's our age, with Asperger or autism, who lives with his parents, and he made some YouTube channels, and one of the things he did is he created these comic book characters that he draws called Sonichu. That is just Sonic and Pikachu blended together, Sonichu and Rosechu. And you just have to look the fucker up. He made the most recent time he made the news. It was when he maced a GameStop employee for attempting to. The GameStop employee was trying to stop him from defacing some Sonic the Hedgehog merchandise because he was angry that Sonic the Hedgehog's arms were the wrong color.
Okay.
And you just have to look this guy up, Kristen Weston Chandler. But here's the thing. It's not only who this guy is, but the fact that the internet got a hold of him and focused on him and made him the target of longtime systematic internet bullying, really, over the course of 8 years. That shaped both the course of his life but the goal from all of the trolls is radically different. Some of them just want to harass him. Some of them just want him to create more content so they can talk about how fucked up and weird he is. Anyway, I fell into a Wikipedia hole for a week and a half.
This sounds exactly like that situation.
And that's basically what it is just a YouTube cringe. He doesn't understand that by engaging, he just keeps feeding them, and it's always a different reaction. He's angry at them and he's going to beat up his webcam to tell them to take down these comments. And in another one, he's trying to explain that they don't understand him, and maybe if he reintroduces himself I don't know. It's amazing, dude. It's amazing.
That sounds like they may have drawn inspiration from that then, because this is very much a socially awkward individual being played, a socially awkward individual who has been constantly encouraged all her life that she is amazing and this and that. and then we watch where that takes us. And it is rather funny. I watched 4 episodes in a sitting, and there were points where I was like, like I literally cannot watch what this chick is doing, and it's there's the cringe. Like I've never really cringed at a cringe compilation. They just make me laugh.
Sure.
But literally, I was like just stop! I can't.
Yeah.
No. It was great. Check it out. Haters,
All right.
Haters back off. At this point, seeing as we are indeed running rather long as usual, and we are not recording live, would you folks like to take a quick break?
Yes.
I would like to go smoke. So,
Yeah.
I would like to go smoke crack.
Uh-oh. Please don't do that.
Sweet. So
No, what? Not crack. Sorry, meth.
that works. So, at this point, we're going to go ahead and take a break. We'll be back in about 5 seconds for you guys, maybe 15 minutes for us. We'll find out, but we'll see you on the flip side. And we're back, and I know we're here to talk about Bioshock Infinite, but there was one thing I wanted to bring up that slipped my mind in the earlier in the episode, and I wanted to bring it up to you guys and see what you thought about that. And that was Battlefield 1 is releasing this week. Now, I don't whether you're a Battlefield fan or not. The interesting is the scheme that they have for pricing. So, if you want to pay the standard $59, that game comes out on Friday. If you want to pay $79, that game comes out today.
You're fucking kidding me.
No. So there is literally a different pre-order called the early adopters or something, I think.
Okay.
Pre-order or
Pay
pre-order.
20 to get it 4 days earlier. All right.
Yeah, so you pay $20 to get it 3 days earlier.
Anything else in the box?
No, that's what you get. You get the ability to play the game 3 days on the normal launch day, which is
right.
Tuesday. Tuesday's the normal day
Sure.
games come out.
Who cares?
And you paid $20 to pay
Yeah.
the day it starts.
Okay. All right. All right. Hey,
Yeah.
man. For some people, it's worth it. You know, if that wasn't the case, they wouldn't consistently be doing it. And depending on how their numbers do, they might do this from here on forward. You know, but like it's the same as Star Wars Battlefront, which I think in a lot of ways backfired for them. Like the fans of that game really love that game. But a lot of people decided no at the last minute, including me, when it was like, so here's the game. Oh, it turns out there's not much content. $60 for the season pass, which is like 3 expansions, you know? And
which were pretty shitty, if I remember correctly.
I mean, I don't know. I never bought them. I ended up trading one of my PS4 games to a friend of mine straight across for Battlefront, which I played for like a week and a half or something like that. I didn't pay any money for it, so I enjoyed it just fine. But I certainly wasn't going to pay $60 for all of the extra stuff on it. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I don't know, man. Like it works. It targets a very specific type of gamer, I think, that isn't us, but totally exists. And
I don't give a shit either, but don't you kind of feel like as a gamer increasingly like that guy, the angry customer in Fargo who's pissed off because they're throwing in the undercoat when he doesn't want it? It's
yeah.
just like it's always the same. It's always more.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
just these fucking skeezy schemes. Everything's a scheme.
Yeah.
Nothing's simple anymore.
Nope.
Yeah, exactly. Nothing's simple like Bioshock anymore.
I don't know how to play off of that transition.
I don't have a silver platter, so just take my hand.
Yeah, thanks. Let me get that. Yeah. But yeah, I just wanted to bring that to people's attention if you hadn't heard about that. The fact that you literally have to pay $20 more to play it on the normal release date. It's funny. And I'm not sure if Titanfall's doing that, but they release next Friday, so we'll see if
that was sort of a coupon day or something.
Yeah. The best part is the only reason I didn't do it was because I couldn't get it done at a discount like I could the other ones.
Right. Of course. Yeah. See, you were nearly suckered. You were nearly suckered.
Nearly.
Yeah.
But not.
He just couldn't afford to be suckered.
Yeah, I couldn't be suckered that much. Even though you can't sucker me that bad.
2020. Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? It's like they said, fool me once, shame on.
You're not gonna fool me
again.
Oh man, that's awesome. Anyway, back to brass tacks, or as this case may be, one of my games in the Bioshock series. In all honesty, if it's not Bioshock, it's kind of so. Bioshock Infinite. We covered Bioshock recently. Glossed over Bioshock 2. Now we're going on to Bioshock Infinite, the third installment in that series. Released, 2013?
Yep.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, was really looking forward to it. We have a review on that on our website, or it sounds Bag of Games still. I looked recently. So if you whichever one you want to go to, it's on there. But Rob reminded me earlier that now we're far enough back, we actually had some controversy on that episode that was kind of fun. I don't know what the review is like now, but I've always kind of held a little bit of reserve on that episode on that game, and one of our ranks did not at the time actually feel that way, and we had to start recording again because I kind of voiced my negative opinion.
Things got a little heated.
Yeah, so I think you tell
and
it
by
better
a little
than I
heated. I think I mean like it was bad, so we cut it.
Really?
Yeah.
So Game Out Loud historians are now quickly going through those podcasts to pull relevant audio clips.
Yeah, I wish we hadn't. I mean, at the time we were like really concerned with quality, and now we're just clearly not.
Otherwise, I wouldn't be here.
Yeah. So if that had happened now, I would have been like, I don't give a fuck. Let them cringe through this.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, the best part is what we should do is look for that date, and I'll try to find what episode that is. I probably still have the raw original recording for that because I never delete that stuff, and unless it got lost in a hard drive crash or which damn it, never mind. That's probably gone. I forgot. I lost all that stuff in a Western Digital explosion that took out all of my hard drives. Thanks, Western Digital.
Just to throw me down, Jordan.
Yeah, my bad. My
Terrible.
apologies.
Still gonna go for it though.
Yeah, I'll still go. I have a hard drive that might have something on it. Or I still have that hard drive that we're not sure if it'll boot up or not. It never boot up again. Like that could be, it could be on there if we can just figure out how to fix that sucker. Want to do that? We could find it. It'll be fun. I think I lost. But you guys.
See, you and I aren't. Thank God.
What just occurred?
That was good. That was fun. I think I just lost you guys for a second. I continued talking. Jack was solemnly looking down, and Rob just smiled. And so I was like talking, and all of a sudden you didn't respond, and that was rather exciting. Yeah, but I can see I was actually looking for those small movements to be like, are they just joking with me? Like, what's going on?
I'm just glad that we didn't lose the episode right there.
Yeah,
I was concerned.
No, this records everything. Even if we'd lost Skype, that's just a component of what we're recording in, so it's still recording.
Excellent.
Yeah, we're good.
Yeah, Bioshock Infinite, motherfuckers.
Yeah.
The hype for this game. I mean, it's been so long. The announcement to the release of this game was a huge window, and they showed off. It was a gameplay trailer at E3. They showed up with like 3.5 years before it came out, and it looked so awesome. I cannot, with the exception of GTA 5, I can't think of a more hyped game in the last 5 years. Can you guys?
In the last 5 years? No.
Portal 2, maybe.
Yeah, but Portal 2 wasn't really hyped.
Wait, what was the caveat? Other than what?
GTA.
No Man's Sky.
Okay.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right. Okay.
I think we all agree Bioshock at least. Not
Bioshock No Man's Sky'd it. Bioshock may have come out beforehand, but No Man's Sky fucked it up to the point where I think I can retroactively say that they No Man's Sky'd it.
I disagree with you 100%. They didn't. I mean, Bioshock Infinite. There's a lot of things that I can criticize about Bioshock Infinite, but it did not largely fail on every single promise it made. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they showed off some stuff that didn't make it into the game, but it was clear that was just part of the game development process. That character got cut, or we were going to go to this place.
Exactly. I have a legal pad full of criticisms here, but I will start by saying about Bioshock Infinite that the budget shows, it's extremely well made and put together. The set pieces are strong, down to the little NPCs and the characters that you overhear. They're consistently varied and different. It is for all of the things that I don't like about it, it is a well-built, solid experience as a video game.
That feels like you're in a living museum that nothing around you actually interacts with. They glossy-eyed stare out into the void, and the AI is rather lackluster in their attempts to go about their paths, and the things that they showed that got people excited in those early trailers were nowhere to be found, as far as having a robust skyway system to move around. That was it feels like they really should have just pulled that out. Just having the ability to move around the outside of an edge is really what you had there. Rushed plot, the end that kind of build.
Well,
We've been doing this long.
Yeah,
let's not get to the end of the game here.
Yeah, on the other hand, let's just talk about the Skyways for a second, because I agree with you for that a lot of times they either feel like I am forced to do them and don't really want to, because I never really liked those sections very much, or that who gives a fuck that they're here, I don't need to use them. You know what I mean? And that may have been a holdover from a previous thing, but at the same time, that would work better for a Bioshock, for a game set in a big city that you could just explore freely. And that's never really been Bioshock. Bioshock has always been, you kind of go from one big chamber to another big chamber, you know what I mean? And they all have plenty of places to explore in them. But it's not like you go from city block to city block. There are a couple of illusions of that in the early stages of Bioshock Infinite, but it never really comes to fruition, right?
Well, I think that's what people are expecting, though, because you come from this enclosed, encapsulated, under the sea, terrible place to be, and then now they're like, oh, we've got Rapture, the city in the sky, it'll be big, open. They kept using words like that, which in this day and age, you put those together, a big, vast open world, and that's. I can see where the misconception would be, and
I understand that too. I feel like, and I agree with you. Maybe that was something that they tried in the beginning and scrapped, or maybe what they meant by it was oh, this time you're. What I always took from those videos was this time you're going to a city that isn't dead, right? Yeah, although you ended up in a city that was largely dead.
Yeah.
But
after the first 20 minutes.
But having those characters around and everything, I don't know. It wasn't any more it wasn't any worse than Bioshock 2 as far as the set pieces fitting together. You're right. Like, and I mean, I played the whole thing with a Steam controller on easy mode, and I died like 3 times. You know what I mean? Like, the enemies are fairly easy to, combat and all those things. A lot of that was probably because I played on easy mode. But I don't know. At the same time, like, it's there. For all my criticisms, as I move from moment to moment in the game, I'm like, okay, I'm with it largely. Or I get what my next objective is. It's not too terribly confusing. All of the pieces, even if they don't, you don't have to use them all, but with the pieces you do use together, work together. I don't know. I'm. You can tell I'm very torn on this game.
Yeah,
I am too. Although I still like it.
I do too. For all of my, and I can continue to bitch about it, but I do. I still like it.
It's fun to play. Columbia is a fun place to be, even though it does feel like Epcot Center.
right.
And I kind of wonder how much of that is intentional. I don't think all of it is, but part of me thinks that the weird, phony veneer of these environments is supposed to be that way because Columbia presents itself like it is the Disneyland in the sky, and underneath it's something very nasty and different.
That's true. I mean, when you first step foot into Columbia, how much of it is a guided tour through their
Right.
their and George Washington rode upon the Delaware.
But come on, man.
Like,
the same stuff is there in Bioshock. The only
no. I'm not dissing
Yeah.
it. Like, I was literally gonna start saying I loved that intro. Right. Like, they give you that same feel, and as you just made me jump the gun here to connect to Bioshock, because in Bioshock you start going down, you see fathoms, then you see the banner, the chain, the fist, you see all the Ryan, you see Rapture.
No gods or kings, only man, and the whale, and like all that. And they have great moments that do the same. In fact, it's so funny because with Bioshock Infinite, I feel like both their best and worst moments come from trying to recapture Bioshock. I have all these moments that I wrote down as I was playing where, like, and being a theater guy, be it an actor guy, I cannot help but notice, I mean, how much Tom Stoppard, Rosencrantz, and Guildenstern Are Dead reference is in this script, especially with the scientist characters and down to them flipping a coin that consistently comes up heads. I mean, that's literally a scene from that play. There's plenty of those through it. But the Bioshock references too, whether they're really big, like traveling in an elevator, looking at a scene occurring, and then being trapped in the elevator and having at one point, Fink calls you on a phone, and the only way to get out of the elevator is to answer the phone in the elevator. And there's like, I don't know. There's all sorts of moments like that that recall you to Bioshock, and some of them really work, and then other times you're like, it feels a little forced, or I don't know. It's like it's both the best and worst moments of Bioshock Infinite are where they're trying to pull you back to Bioshock.
Yeah, I agree with that. And another thing about the writing, Ken Levine is a great writer of scenes.
Yes.
I don't know. I think he lost his own plot in this game.
Agree 100%.
He can write a moment like no one else in video games. Like the Rosencrantz and Guildenstern characters, their dialogue's great. Once you've beaten the game and you know who they are and what their story is, it just is even better on a second playthrough.
Yeah.
Some of the speeches, Elizabeth, and he's also a great actors director. I mean, he gets really good performances out of all the actors.
Well, he
wanted
to be a director. He wanted to be a film
really
director,
heavy-handed at a couple, and it gets too filmy a couple of times. Like, are you afraid of God? No, I'm afraid of you. I'm like, okay, let's tone it down a little bit. Or the other one that really, and it's a totally optional scene, and it's funny because they even replay it in the credits, is when he picks up the guitar and she sings and hands the apple to the little boy like Snow White. Like, I don't know. I just, it just all felt too easy in a lot of ways. And at the same time, like you said, it loses the plot. Like I was like, okay, so I think there's two worlds, and the worlds are different, right? And that's it, right? There's different worlds, and we go back and forth between them. But apparently, what I do in this world changes what happens in the other world, and also removing things back and forth from the two changes things. But I can't tell which world I'm in just by looking around. They both look exactly. They're both Columbia. I don't know.
I think in the end, didn't it really turn out that they were all different worlds? Like all those points you were jumping, you weren't time traveling. You were jumping to different worlds in the whole the.
Are we getting to the end? Are we going to the end now? We can.
Well, yeah. Let's hold off just a sec on the ending because there's a lot to say on that. I want to one other thing just in the broader story. He bit off Ken Levine specifically, since I think he's the only story guy on this.
Yeah,
bit off more than he could chew thematically. Give us the sci-fi multiverse story with Booker and Elizabeth, or give us this grand political parable. Don't try to mash both together because then neither of them ended up being very satisfying.
I agree. Yeah, exactly. I was like, and it felt like they just wanted to make sure that no matter how close to the end we got, I didn't know what the end was going to be. And it started to almost feel like Shyamalan-y on the way they were trying to throw twists at me. To the point that I didn't care about the twists anymore. Whereas I feel like Bioshock, I mean, it had its twists and turns. And maybe it was the fact that you were all alone and you just kind of picked it up from both whatever you got over the speakers and from the audio logs you got. I guess it's largely the same in Bioshock Infinite. But I just felt like the storytelling in Bioshock was a lot more subtle and made you feel like you were discovering the story rather than kind of being like walked through it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's the Epcot ride thing.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
part of it. Yeah, for sure.
But I will say though, just like in the first game, the music is fucking amazing throughout the game. Spot on.
Yeah, no one's gonna dock them points for environmental work or for
art design.
Yeah,
top in class. Yeah.
Oh yeah, like. What was it? What's the first little reference you get of our world there? Is it the Beach Boys?
The Beach Boys, yeah.
Yeah.
God only knows.
Yeah.
What I'd be with, and then some of the ones you hear on the phonograph, and I played that game for hours and had never heard. What was the one? It's the piano and it's the lady and she's crooning. Oh, sometimes I feel I want to run away.
Oh, yeah.
You're just like, oh my god, that's amazing. Like, yeah. I thought it was excellent. Not just the covers, but the gospel stuff is really well done. And even though that whole storyline is shoehorned, like when they bring that stuff in, it's pretty tastefully placed. And you can't fault them for the music or the design. Even for the Epcot, in fact, it's specifically designed as Epcot rideness. That very first kind of story that you go on that takes you through the Boxer Rebellion and the massacre at Wounded Knee.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know. I grew up near, Wounded Knee. Spent a lot of time there. Really know that history well, and the way they stylized that was really interesting and creative and kind of offensive and scary to see, but in a way that didn't actually offend me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, cool. It was clearly commentary on that type of thing.
Right. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, it was well done. Like you said, no one's going to fault them for their environmental work. Well said.
I did also especially like the deification of the founding fathers.
Mm-hmm.
That whole garden scene.
But then the demonification of Lincoln.
Exactly.
Right? I thought that was a really cool turnaround of okay, and then here's our devil figure and the fall from grace, and everything. That was really fascinating.
It felt like he loves history so much he couldn't pick out what he wanted in it, so he just started throwing stuff at it.
Yeah, definitely. No, I agree with you. It feels like a jumbled mess. It feels like he took on a little too much as it goes through. The moments are really cool, but as the game progressed, I kept being like, okay, but wait, where is it supposed to mean something in my respawn moments when I'm in this room? Like, and I know it does take you back there. We're getting to the end. I know it does take you back there, but like, is there a reason this is where I am when I'm respawning? And like, does it have anything being pulled from, the links didn't quite match up. I feel like it could have been made smaller and tighter. Maybe in a lot of ways, same way. In fact, I was saying when you were talking about Mafia 3, I think you used the word wrote. And I jotted that down because I was like, a lot of what I feel like was Bioshock Infinite, was that these moments where it's just being, it's the Epcot right. It's just being told to you.
Yeah. Super ambitious game. Yeah, nothing's lazy about this. I just don't think everything worked.
And hey, the weapons work well, and I had fun with about half of the assaults. Crows were really fun.
I gotta say,
Go ahead, Jordan.
I do prefer their version of racism than
The Mafias.
Mafias, yeah, a little more hard hitting. No playing
more on the nose. But then at the same time, there are a lot of really racist caricatures in Bioshock Infinite, like Daisy.
I'm just talking about the out and out early ones, like the
right.
Yeah, like I mean, no, that game is super racist. Like
like Daisy Fitzroy is like, I mean, she is a parody. Like really, in a lot of ways, is a parody of I don't know, that kind of angry black woman. I remember one time I was walking, and an NPC was like mopping the floor, and he made some angry comment about Fink or whatever. And as I walked through the room, it was the most like Jim Crow thing this NPC said. I can't remember. It was something like, you don't pay us black folk no mind. It's just monkey shines over here, or something like that. Like, it was, I remember the word monkey shines was in the line. And I was like, did I just actually hear that, even in a critique? Like, did I just actually hear that? Like,
Daisy Fitzroy, that's a character that felt like they had grand plans for her, and then it all got cut. And so you just
and then all of a sudden she's a dead body in a room.
Yeah. And like her development made no sense. And then they you could tell they knew that, and they tried to fix it in the DLC
her afterwards.
And it was terrible. It just seems so forced. It's like that there was definitely some I mean, you can tell all the stories that came out of development that this game was basically made 5 times. And they just kept cutting stuff and moving stuff around. It feels kind of patched together.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
And I still like it, though. I still have fun playing it, and I still think there's cool things about it.
Yeah, I might give it another playthrough in another few years. I will say that when it came out, I never beat it. I played it on 360, and I never finished it. I got bored with it.
So we can get a hot take from you on the ending then.
Yeah,
because you just beat it.
Yeah, I just beat it for the first time, and and this time I played it all the way through.
Oh wait, sweet. Spoiler alert! I literally give me your interpretation of the ending here, because Rob and I have had a lot of time to talk about this and BS about it and throw theories out. What's your fresh take on it?
It's just so confused. It really is. But I think that what we are supposed to take away as players is that there are an infinite number of permeations and possibilities. And really, honestly, it felt like a sequel time, in the sense that they were like, there's an infinite number of worlds, there's an infinite number of Bioshocks, and some of them are under the ocean, and some of them are up in the sky, and some are going to be out in space, and some and there's always going to be someone who says, is it someone new? And there's always going to be music that you've heard before, but it sounds a little different.
There's
but
always
that's
the man.
okay.
There's always a lighthouse.
Yeah, exactly. There's always, and I felt like that was a lot of what it was about, and that they're, the pullback when they bring you back to Rapture, spoiler alert, when they bring you back to Rapture and you get to walk through a little bit, that's kind of fun. but it didn't really mean anything. I mean, it's not like it was related to the little sisters. That's for a second I thought that's where
I
they
was
were
hoping they would have some cosmic tie to it, and
where
never
I was like,
did.
oh shit, like she's a little sister who grew up and got away, or I don't know, or whatever. Who knows? But it just ended up being a nice set piece that again, a fun callback that didn't really mean anything. And that's what I feel like the ending was all about.
Rob, what was your input there, bud?
So I actually love the ending. And my take on it, aside from just being feeling like fan service at the beginning, is as this game was being written, the Charlie Kaufman thing happened, where Charlie Kaufman starts writing a script and then he finds himself writing a script.
Right.
And that's my take on what there's always a man, there's always a tower, why we're back in Rapture, what all that is. It's the writer of the game talking about all the endless possibilities and all the things that were cut and all the ways this could have gone. I just felt like it was a reference to that. Like it seemed like a very personal ending to me. So I really liked it.
It actually did feel like one of the most honest moments of the game.
Yeah, and I think it was kind of a subtle meta commentary, which sometimes is terrible. But in this case, I liked it a lot.
I agree. And actually, after feeling like I had picked up and followed the story to a certain extent, and then somewhere around Daisy Fitzroy, it lost me. And I was just kind of going from objective to objective, picking up as many audio logs as I could and trying to understand the story as much as I could. Suddenly, once we hit that moment, I did kind of feel like I got it again. You know what I mean? And like all the pieces, at least that I needed in that moment, I had.
Yeah.
And that's maybe what I mean when I say it felt like one of the most honest moments in the game. I could get behind that. I like that.
How did Elizabeth get like messed up and all that? Like, can't remember how that whole storyline went.
Yeah, that I remember pretty much understanding it at the time, the first time I played it.
Yeah.
And I didn't make it that far in the game on my second playthrough, so I don't remember. But I do remember that by the end of Burial at C2, I was so completely fucking lost as to what Elizabeth was doing and why. I had no idea. The end credits on that DLC rolled, and I went, I have no idea what just happened.
Huh.
What?
I should have paid better attention.
She was Booker's daughter, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And he had debts that he needed to pay, so he sold her?
Yeah, but they don't make that entirely clear either. It seems like it gets so fucking confused. I just played it. It seems like by the time you get there, he is in some ways aware that he is Father Comstock and that he did this to himself and that giving the girl away is an attempt to atone or something, and that he feels like he wipes away the debt of all the things he did wrong if he gives her, because they're gonna. It just gets so fucking confusing.
He was also Comstock, right? So,
correct. Yes, exactly. Yeah.
So she had to kill him because of that. But as for like, I don't remember if she was going from dimension to dimension, like hunting down Bookers so they could never become Comstock. I don't remember, but
no, it's that he says, well, now that we know that Comstock did all this, we can, because he takes him back to his baptism the first time he meets Comstock, and he's like, oh, so this is where it began from. And then he says, okay, so we got to go backwards from here to when he is a baby and smother him in his crib. And then a couple other things happen where you actually go through and you give the baby away and that whole thing happens. And then you travel back in time to actually do it. And it takes you back to the baptism again. And Booker, you are told, you don't discover, you are told that Booker was Comstock. And that the moment of the baptism is the moment he became Comstock.
That's right.
And this is the moment where he became, where there was no turning back. And this is the moment she has to kill him to prevent any of it from happening.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And
who knows how that, I guess that stops it in all the dimensions.
It's like, that's the
I
worst.
guess.
If you think about the I don't know what it is, but like if every choice you make, the other dimension is like I chose the left door. Okay, the other one's
Right.
I went the right side. So logically, if you follow that back, there is an
There's one
original
branch.
choice.
There's one branch where he got baptized and one where he didn't. The one where he got baptized is what led to all of Columbia and everything. So we can at least kill that. Yeah. All right.
And here's
Interesting.
the thing. The twins were working on what? They managed the whole thing they
Well,
managed to do was
they're not twins.
No, they're the same person. Sorry. Yeah,
Right.
They
But are they refer to themselves as brother and sister up to the end, although
they're
also
the
refer to them
same
being-
individual. If
yeah, but it just all gets so fucking confused.
there is literal reference to that where
Yes, no, I know.
he's painting himself.
No, I know.
Yeah.
But there are other like way late games, super late game after you're in the place with all the stars. They're referring to each other as brother and sister and happy that they can finally be together and like all these things. Like I understand that they're themselves from parallel worlds. Okay, but if that's the case, why are all the Elizabeth's girls? Why are all the Booker's boys? Why are you know what I mean? Like it's I'm
Maybe that's
I'm
why
saying
it's
I
so
get it.
rare.
Well, I think
It
I
just
think
gets-
they went way deeper and further.
and they were slicing the things apart and everything.
and
I'm just saying
they
it all
were running
gets confused.
experiments. Like you start
Yeah.
the game, that's them rowing you into town, flipping
Right.
coins. Each time they flip a coin, that's a new branch.
Right.
And they're controlling all this and making notes on it. So there's
But at the same time, they indicate, just like Tom Stoppard does, right from the very beginning, this thing starts to lose its way. Because in that very first scene, they keep flipping that coin and it keeps ending up heads, indicating that there is no chance, that this is predetermined and that we cannot get away from it. And in fact, they comment on it. Interesting. Heads, just like in Rosencrantz and Guildenstern, where they're like, we just progress through this thing to our deaths and then it's over. And you know, like, and then that starts to get, I don't know, like it's just maybe Ken Levine is too smart for me. Maybe I just don't get it, but I feel like I get the key points, but that
what does it coalesce into?
Yeah, exactly. It's all just too confused.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's perfect description of the game.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. Someone should do a podcast on like the story of that game.
I wish Colin had made it tonight because Colin really knows the details of all this and could have set us straight a couple times because he's like he's like read the wikis and stuff.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I used to know it pretty well myself, but I never got through all the DLC. Just because life
probably
got
won't.
crazy. But
I probably
Um,
won't.
That second DLC is fun. The gameplay is fun,
yeah,
but the story just gets more muddled through the DLC.
Yikes.
yeah, because it was crystal clear to begin with. Speaking of muddled, what does it mean to muddle a lime?
Mash it up.
Thank you. That's been bothering me for like 30 seconds.
Yeah, well, happy to help you with your age-old question there.
No
Yes,
problem.
perfect way to end the podcast.
I guess so.
Indeed.
Yeah.
So
And that's how you muddle a lime.
that's Jack Webster's closing line. But real closing line, Jack. Anything to finally say about Bioshock? Is your final word there?
Hey man, it was fun. I really enjoyed playing through it again for the podcast, and for all of my criticism about it, I will say, I will say one more thing, and then I'm gonna end on it. The other thing is that maybe it's that this storyline that this type of storytelling feels a little dated. You know, the like running through the corridor and getting told stuff, and I don't know. Maybe I'm, maybe part of the reason that we feel disappointed by it is that it reminds us so much of Bioshock, which came at the beginning of the gen and felt so new. You know, maybe part of it is that it holds on to enough things that it feels a little old. I don't know. That's just something to throw out. But the last thing I'll say about it is, for all the criticisms I had to say about it, like, again, it's a solidly built game. Like Rob said, I had a lot of fun playing it, and it's better than a lot of the high-profile game releases that came out in 2016.
Awesome. Well, thanks for that, Jack. I can call you Jeff J. Wefso.
Jeff Wafso.
Jeff Wasco.
All right, Rob, how about you?
Jeffso.
I think that I'm glad the game at least had such lofty ambitions. And I'm with Jack. I really enjoyed it. Like if I were Mr. Game Reviewer, had to give it a score, I'd give it like a B-. So definitely positive. Yeah, I wish it had stuck the landing better, but I'd rather play kind of an interesting story failure like this than have another like they killed my wife and daughter revenge story shooter, you know?
Yeah.
I'm with you.
What about you, Jordan? What do you think about it? Final thoughts.
I don't know. I really like Bioshock as a whole. I can't not like this because it still holds that, and they still have a lot of references to it, and I think it's a good game in its own right. But I do think that it needed more work, maybe less work, as Rob put it. They remade this game like 5 times. Maybe less work would have been good. We could have gotten a less refined down version of this thing, and maybe something a little more interesting would come out of it. But I'm gonna go look up like YouTube videos and stuff now on the story and see if I can get a refresher course on that stuff, because I remember being really interested in that, but it never was very, very clear.
Right.
But I really like the actual, like I said, the original Bioshock storyline. So I always give Bioshock a chance, depending. Like, I mean, they get one, right? Like, I don't agree with this one wholeheartedly, but
everybody gets one.
Yeah, everybody gets one.
Right.
So I'll give the next one a try if it comes around. But they've dismantled that team, haven't they?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, Irrational's done, and it came out. I think it was fairly recently. Ken Levine said that he was quitting the company, and he figured that he would just leave, and that 2K would give the team another game to work on. And when he left, they just said, no, we're shutting the whole thing down.
Okay.
So
Wow.
he got blamed for that, but it wasn't him that did that.
Huh.
So pretty crazy. I guess he was the guy as far as the suits are concerned, which is insane to me because 250 people worked on this game.
Yeah, that's insane. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. Well, we'll have to see where time takes us. There may not always be a man in a lighthouse. Maybe we'll
Maybe not always. That might have been the last man in the last lighthouse. Oddly prophetic.
Yeah, that's hilarious. I don't know.
Yeah.
But you, listener, if you want to give us some input on how you feel the Bioshock series is gone, you can find us at gameoutloudpodcast@gmail.com. If you want to throw something a little faster our way, 140 characters or less at GameOutLoudcast, you can find us on, YouTube? And gameoutloudpodcast@gmail.com. No, just gameoutloudpodcast.com. That's the one. I'll get this outro down one time. We'll get it, and then I'll just loop it. You'll think it's me. I'll just click a button and it'll make.
Except every time you're talking about Bioshock series, and that's weird because they weren't even talking about that this show.
I know. I don't know why that happens. But thanks again for tuning in, guys. Jack,
hey,
thanks
happy
for making
200, guys.
Oh yeah, that's
happy
right.
200.
Thank you, Mr. Wefso, for making the time. Thanks, Rob. And thank you, listener. Don't have too much fun, and we will see you next week.
On the show, but I love that little animation. It's great.
Thanks.